All right, welcome to the Ironwood Gym. This past week I read an article, came across one of those things when you open up the internet, it has articles suggested for you, whatever. And sometimes I read those articles, sometimes I don't. This one intrigued me, and unfortunately I read it. The title of it was, I don't have it in front of me, so hopefully I get this right. The only 3 kettlebell exercises guys need to get strong and jacked. So the first thing that's wrong with that is the title is way too long, okay? Rewrite your title, please. I don't know why this intrigued me, because everyone puts out these lists. Top 3 exercises to get big. Top 3 exercises to lose weight. Top 5 exercises to do this. Top 10 exercises for this. And apparently people like those because people keep making these articles and videos but for some reason I decided I was going to read this article, and I was very let down because one, nothing in the article talked about being strong or being jacked. None of it. Okay. I believe when I'm thinking of someone that's jacked, I'm thinking of someone that's big, not incredibly ripped like a bodybuilder, like 3% body fat getting ready to get on stage, but someone that's very big and just by looking at him, you're like, man, that guy is strong. And women can be jacked too, and this article obviously only pertains to men because they said guys. I'm not sure how that, I don't know. In a society that's so, everything has to be equal, and they specifically said guys, and I know I'm just picking at things here because the article really let me down, and I was kind of frustrated by it. I don't know. Anyway, he tried to bring research in. Whoever wrote this, I don't even know if they listed the author. It's from, and I don't want to list, if the author was on it, I don't want to list him personally because I do want this channel, this YouTube channel, and my videos to focus more on positive and how we can make progress, how we can get stronger, how we can get bigger, how we can help the athletes that we're working with, whether it be athletes in a college setting, high school setting, or the lifters in a gym. But sometimes I think this stuff needs to be called out, and the host or the site that sponsored it or whatever was Box Rocks. I've read some of their stuff before, but this one I just it irks me for some reason. I don't know. So I'm going through the article, and the first thing is he never talks about anything related to hypertrophy or actually getting big at all. And really, when I'm thinking kettlebells, I'm not thinking getting big. Now, I did watch a clip the other day, and I didn't even know they made these. A guy was doing kettlebell swings with, I believe it was a 200-pound kettlebell. You might get bigger with that. But most people, when I've seen people do kettlebell swings or they're talking about kettlebells, the exercises that they're doing with them aren't going to put a lot of mass on you. So already I was skeptical because when I'm thinking kettlebells, I'm not thinking getting big. I can do that with squats, with deadlifts, with bench presses, number of different exercises that I could put out there that I would think, oh, I could utilize this to get big. Kettlebell stuff does not fall in that classification for me. But as I'm reading it, he doesn't even talk about that. Okay, so that's the first thing that's really kind of glaring to me. I was like, when is he going to talk about what exercise is actually going to get me jacked if I'm using kettlebells? Which one? So the 3 exercises were kettlebell swings. I don't think he spoke anything about the different types of kettlebell swings because you have kettlebell swings, double arm between the legs, alternating, single arm between the legs, outside the legs, both arms outside the legs at the same time, which is actually very challenging and kind of risky at the same time. But I'm sitting there, okay, kettlebell swings. I'm not going to get jacked with kettlebell swings. I'm going to get my heart rate up, but I'm probably never going to get to anywhere close to failure. So I'm probably not going to get jacked doing kettlebell swings. In fact, I wouldn't even consider kettlebell swings good for getting strong. Well, he didn't mention either one when talking about kettlebell swings. So I'm not sure how I'm going to get strong and jacked doing kettlebell swings. So then we move on. The second exercise was the Turkish get-up. I already knew that was coming because everyone wants to talk about the Turkish get-up. Well, no one's getting bigger doing the Turkish get-up. Okay, the Turkish get-up will challenge your flexibility. It's going to challenge your flexibility from multiple planes. It's not just a sagittal plane or a frontal plane that you're working in where most strength exercises occur. It's going to have some different, you're going to be turning and getting and moving your hips and adjusting your shoulder, and but you're not going to get big and jacked doing Turkish get-ups. Okay, it's just not going to happen. There is some shoulder stability involved in there, so I would say there's probably a little bit of strength benefit, especially if you're a novice. You're probably going to get stronger. Same thing with kettlebell swings. If you're a novice and you're fairly new to lifting, you'll get something out of kettlebell swings from a strength perspective, absolutely. But if you've been around lifting for a good amount of time, you're probably not going to get stronger doing kettlebell swings. You're probably not going to get that much stronger doing Turkish get-ups. But with the Turkish get-up, there is some shoulder stability that's necessary for that, and that could be beneficial in helping you get stronger. But you're certainly not going to get more jacked by doing Turkish get-ups. Okay. And then the third, I'm really wondering at this point where he's going to come at for the third exercise. Where is he going with the third exercise? How am I going to get big? How am I going to get jacked? Those two go hand in hand. And how am I going to get stronger? Where am I going to get these things that the title of the article said I would get out of kettlebells? Goblet squats. Seriously? You ain't getting stronger. You're not getting jacked doing goblet squats. Okay? Personally, in most cases, I don't like goblet squats at all. I have used them with athletes. I've never used them in my own training. I don't see any benefit. Now, if you are, I heard about a guy training high school athletes, and they had to be able to do goblet squats correctly for X number of reps with X amount of weight before he would let them move on. Fine. Okay. Working with new athletes, using the goblet squat to teach technique. It's not how I would do it, but I see the benefit. I can see where the people are coming from with that. You're not going to get strong and jacked doing goblet squats. You can't handle enough weight to where it's going to cause you any sort of hypertrophy benefit. If you are getting hypertrophy, it's probably from your back or maybe from your shoulders having to hold the weight here versus having the bar on your back. It's just, if you can actually load a squat, you can make your legs bigger. But if you can't load the squat, you're not getting bigger, and you're probably not going to get stronger other than that entry-level athlete or entry-level lifter. The goblet squat is not a good exercise to get strong and jacked. It's not going to happen. Okay. But this is where I feel a lot of this industry goes wrong. We write these articles, we make these claims that just aren't true. So either the person writing the article doesn't have experience and we shouldn't be listening to them, or they're lying just to get more hits on that article or get more attention to get more people to read it. So they put this title on there saying, the top 3 exercises to get strong and jacked. Read this article, kettlebells. And people flock to it, but then they don't even talk about anything. Nothing in the article talked about getting strong and jacked. Nothing. Okay? And yet this sort of thing continues to happen and happen over and over again. And we mislead the public, the people that don't know a lot, that don't have an education in strength conditioning or the lifting fields such as powerlifting, weightlifting, strongman, bodybuilding, even CrossFit. The experience level isn't. Most people don't understand those fields. They don't understand strength conditioning, so they are brand new, and they'll listen to you. If you say this is going to make you strong and jacked, they're going to listen to you. And then a few months into it, they realize they're not getting the results that they thought they should because your title of that article said you were going to get them those results. And they quit doing that. And maybe they quit working out altogether. And the author of the article doesn't care because he got his hits, may have picked up a client or two that had probably gone, and he's replaced them with 2 more new clients. It's frustrating for me to see this stuff. That's why I started this YouTube channel, at least in part, is to get out real information, credible information. And then I look at articles like that. Top three kettlebell exercises to get you strong and jacked, to get guys strong and jacked. Specifically guys. Doesn't benefit women. I don't know. It's just a little rant session from me here at the Ironwood Gym, and you guys can take it and run with it and do with it what you want. Not listen to it. Not a big deal, but regardless, don't listen to these guys that don't know what they're talking about. All right, listen to the guys with lots of experience that are putting out good quality information to actually help you. And that's not what that article that I read is going to do. There's nothing in there to resemble the title, and most of the stuff I thought was very elementary. Tried to include research into it, but half the research that he put in there didn't even back up the title of the article. He was making small little claims throughout the article. So anyway, I'm going to stop there. And if you have any comments on this stuff, please leave them down below. I'd love to hear them, and I'll try to reply to them as best I can. But until next time, always be in the pursuit of strength.